You know, I'm big on sustainability in the garden. There's loads of little steps you can take that will make your household that little bit more sustainable. But one of the biggest, and funnily enough the easiest, would have to be composting. It's a fantastic way to reduce your household waste output. Everything from your kitchen scraps to all of your garden clippings can go into your compost, and then out the other end you get everything from soil improvers to mulch that you'd normally be paying for by the bag from the garden centre. So how much of a win-win's that? Reduce your waste and get free stuff out the other end. Now, it's really easy to build your own bulky compost bay, and I'm going to show you how. Best of all, I'm using recycled materials to make it. For this project, you'll need 3 recycled hardwood pallets, 4 star pickets at least 1200mm long, a handful of 75mm bugle batten screws, a couple of heavy-duty brackets, and some screws to hold them in place. You might also want to have a couple of bags of gravel on hand if you want to do some levelling underneath your pallets. Get started by giving your pallets a couple of coats of quality exterior paint. This area is ideal for a compost bay. It's reasonably level and quite shady. The first thing you'll need to do is get the area clear. And it's time to spot mark the position of your corners. Just use a set out paint. Once you've done the sides and the rear, check the diagonals. They should be equal. Now you can play join the dots. Just mark out where your pallets will sit. Next step is bringing the area to a level, getting rid of the grass and weeds as you go. As you will have lost your line, just mark out for your rear pallet again. Hammer your first stake in and check its height. You don't want it any taller than your pallet. You might want to lay a bed of gravel where your pallets will sit. This helps with drainage and makes it easy to get your pallets level. Now bring your pallet into place, put it flush against your star stake, clamp it off, and then fix it in place with a 75mm bugle screw before checking it's nice and level. Then hammer your other corner stake in. Use another bugle screw to attach your pallet to the second post, checking it's level as you do. Use a builder's square to help you set out the lines for your side panels. You can put some gravel in if you want, but just make sure it's reasonably level before you position your pallets. Now you can add a side panel. Put it in place, hold it with a clamp, jiggle it to roughly level and plumb, then check the corner with a square and the top with a level, and then add your stake in the corner. Check the faces plumb before you screw the picket to the pallet with the 75mm bugle screw. Now repeat the process for the other side. Before you add your final stake, check your front and rear spacings. They need to be equal for your bay to be square. Add your last star picket and screw it in place with a 75mm bugle screw. Then go around and add a few more screws just to tighten things up. To make sure everything's nice and secure, fit the heavy duty gal brackets in the top rear corners. Now it's time for the fun part, filling your bay up for the first time. Don't get too obsessed about what goes in. Aim for a 50-50 mix of green and brown material. Add it in layers when you're building your heap for the first time. Put in all your lawn and garden clippings, raked up leaves, kitchen scraps, and you can add some of that bigger material out of the garden. Just cut it up first. Keep adding to your heap regularly, turning it over with a garden fork, and in next to no time you'll have your first compost. And always remember that every single little bucket counts.